used your formula.
Good. Does anybody have a really good client that they love?
Let me get you. Yeah, and
Because I want to give you the caller area. I want to give you a little bit more.
yeah, he's perspective.
Okay, let's go to the perspective one.
Yeah, his name is Alfredo.
Okay, Alfredo. Alfredo!
Hey, yeah.
Does he allow you to do unique ability?
Yes. Yeah.
1 to 5.
I would say 4.
Okay. Compensate you?
I would say 4.
Appreciate you?
Man, I would say 5.
Possible to give you referrals or
Yeah, I would say maybe 3.
okay. And enhance your business. Can you learn from him? Can he learn from you? Could there be
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say I would give him a 4 on it. Yeah.
So we have 8, 13, 20. Smack into the ABC, probably a B client. What I would suggest when you look at your top 20, okay, the people that you're going to make your most amount of money in, anybody that's a 22 to 25, figure out the source, where you got them, okay? When you figure out the source, mimic it. Mimic it. So what you do is you say, okay, I got one rabbi that I'm representing. Where can I get other rabbis? Because they're a source of people coming into my office. I found basically my biggest source of business is attorneys. They're great for me because they refer. I got a number of attorneys that constantly refer cases to me, which I'm very grateful to. And I just try to mimic it. So I keep on getting clientele through them. Those are the people that you want, okay? Your top ABC clients, those are the clients you want.
Question, Gary.
Yeah, sure.
The last one, number 5, the enhancement of, what is that again?
Enhancement of your business.
Of the business. Okay.
Let me give you an example. A long time ago, not that long ago, about 10 years ago, I had a client come in and they were in violation of the prevailing rate law in New York State. It's a complicated mess. It's a labor law case. I got one case through a fellow attorney, and I have worked it out a bit. That case led me to a person who called me because they realized that basically, how to put it, they realized that I could handle those type of cases. And in fact, when he came in to the office, the second client, he started talking to me and said, I know all about your case. I read about it, know all about it. And he said, well, I have another attorney. What do you think? And the other attorney really made the judge who I was friendly with really angry. Apparently he started arguing constitutional law. You can't charge my client with this. Well, you can. And the judge got really upset with him. And in fact, the attorney ended up getting disbarred. Not because of this case, but another case. So I suggested basically that, let me handle the case. And I ended up, so that's kind of like an enhancement of business. I learned a little bit about a new area of law that I hadn't really, there aren't that many cases in Rockland on that. So I ended up with 3 cases like that, and I ended up becoming a specialist in that area. So it was really neat.
I think what's neat is too, is that what you did was too, you studied up on that client even before you had him as a client.
Yeah.
You knew all about his case.
I didn't know that he was, I studied up because I wanted to see what I could do with my client and how I could play it out. So it was a pretty neat thing.
I want to ask you a question I already know the answer to, but I want to hear your perspective from it. Why do so many lawyers hate their jobs, and why do so many lawyers leave?
I have no idea. I love my job. I think what happens is they start their practice and they're not doing what they really like doing. I think it's a matter of vision. If you pick the case, I always knew I was going to go and deal with criminal law. And I always felt I was going to do basically personal injury. Those are the 2 areas I knew I was going to do. And I did well with it. I really didn't know I was going to be doing a whole lot more business, but it's evolved. And as I went into this program on how to run businesses, I really like it. So I've been doing it more and more and more, and now to give you an idea, I basically figure out how many cases I get in court. That's one of my goals. And I used to have probably 25, 30 cases coming in through personal injury. Criminal cases, about 20, 25 cases every quarter. And my commercial cases and real estate cases, I have maybe 5, 6 cases. I'm up to about 26, 27 cases a quarter now on these cases. And I've basically developed somewhat of a passion for it, and I've evolved as an attorney that way. So that's my story.
And what is your answer?
Of why so many lawyers hate their jobs. Like, it's just well known that a lot of lawyers hate their jobs and a lot of them leave. It's primarily what Gary said, that it's not what they started out, the vision that they had when they started, it doesn't get executed that way.
Yeah, you really have to have a vision, and that's why I start this. This is one of the reasons whenever I talk to a group, basically it's a vision. First, I initially talk about vision because it's so important. We're finished with income for the time being because I only have
About 10 to 15 the most.
Good.
Just so that we could take a break and then.
No
yeah,
problem.
So we got time.
I got 3 more areas to go into.
Cool.
So the BIPD2.
Vision, income.
Income.
Now we're going to productivity, okay?
Okay.
In productivity, I just want to talk to you about systems, okay? You can also talk about Mike Gerber there. What you want to do, and you can talk about habits of highly effective people, which talks about synergy, okay? What you want is you want systems in your office. I've talked to Tom a number of times about manuals. We have a manual in our office. I've talked to my secretaries. I have one secretary that does all my criminal cases and all my personal injury cases. I have another secretary that just does my real estate. I have another client, I have another paralegal basically that's doing all my commercial cases. They have their own areas. They like what they do. My people who support me, I want them to like what they do. Why? Because they're going to do it better. I have forms on everything. So any criminal case I have a form, a fill-out form. I have one of my secretaries, because I told her, I said, I have a client that called me up. She's a little scattered and everything, and I'm not going to waste an hour and a half with her and talk to her about a case, because she keeps on going on and on and on. I said to my secretary, take the information, talk to her about what it's going to cost. I'll be there, but I'll be there a little later. So I'm trying to save my time, okay?
Mhm.
I have 2 offices, so my office in Rockland and my office in Westchester. This one is a Westchester office case, and I didn't want to waste too much time that way. So that's one of the things we do with systems. Systems is so important. You want to hire people, and the question becomes, who do you hire, and how do you hire? There are all sorts of systems there. I'm going to refer you to what's known as the Colby system, which talks about quick starters, follow-uppers, fact finders, and implementers. There's also a book by a group named Conroy concerning strength finders. And I'll talk about it's really pretty interesting. What are the 5 or 6 areas that you are really strong in? And then they try to basically put it into what areas you should be dealing with. So that's one of the other things. Productivity also, with my secretary or my paralegal who does my commercial work, I'll give him, look, I need a summons and complaint prepared. He'll prepare the summons and complaint for me. He does 80% of the work, and then I do 20%. Actually, I'm lying about that. He'll do 80% of the work. I'll give it to Priscilla, who's my main secretary, and she's a stickler about all sorts of grammar and everything else. So I let her look it over. She'll do the 20% of the 20%, and then I'll look it over. So I'm saving time, I'm moving the cases along. And that's what I want to do. I want to move my cases along. I want to be able to talk to the DAs. I want to be able to talk to the insurance companies or the other side, opposing counsel, and move the case along. The other system, there's the Colby system, there's the Strat Finders, and there's what's known as the Wexler system, which is a very well-known system which deals with directors, relators, analyzers, and socializers. These are all different types of people that you're talking to. And when you're talking to someone, find out what type of sense they're really part of. So somebody who's tactile or likes touching is, I feel what you mean. Somebody who is an auditory person, I hear what you're saying. And when you're talking to the new client, I see what you're talking about if the person's a vision person. If the person's an artist, and you know he's painting, okay? I see what you're talking about. I used to draw and I used to paint. So I see what you guys are talking about. And if you're a musician, I hear what you're saying. Be cognizant of that. There's an 80% rule we've talked about, and then I'm going to go to delegating. Delegating is talking about the E-Myth. Have everybody read the E-Myth or no? It's a wonderful book about this lady who's a great baker. She makes great pies. She makes these fantastic caramel apple pies that are really scrumptious, and you put a little ice cream on, and it's heaven. And she's a really good baker. And she opens up a pie maker store, and she's doing great. And the people coming all over the place. And all of a sudden, she's buying the product, all the ingredients. She's doing the accounting. She's up late at night till 4 o'clock, and then she has to wake up at 5 o'clock because she has to bake the goods, and then she has to sell the goods. And after 6 months, 7 months, she hates the job. Surprise. She can't deal with everything. I mean, she's doing some of the things she doesn't like doing. So do the things you love doing. That's where the sweet spot is. The other stuff, I don't do any of my accounting. My wife is my accountant, and my brother-in-law is my accountant. I don't touch the books. I don't want to deal with them. I really don't. And some of the other stuff, if I got an immigration case, that case is out of there. I don't want to see it. I'll be nice to the client. I'll tell the client basically up front, I don't do this. And sometimes the client says, oh, you've been my attorney for, look, I don't do this. But you do the things you love doing. So I'm just going to throw that out to you.
So this is where the org chart
That's the delegating, okay?
comes in handy.
What?
The org chart.
Yeah, creating, like in the book, it talks about delegating, but delegating to a division, and the
Yeah.
organizational
Yeah, that's
chart
the organization.
defines that.
Yeah, I don't do any of my advertising. Webpage, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do it. I don't know anything about it. I don't want to be a social. That's not my style. I don't want to do the social media.
I don't want to do it either, but you kind of have to, like I have never done so much as a tweet. I've never
Neither have I.
participated, but I stand back and I watch, and now I'm starting to understand how it works. Because you kind of, my background is major media, so that's what I come from.
Okay.
So then now the way that things are done is you kind of need to get attention
Yeah, no,
on social
totally.
media, and then that's how the news feeds pick up.
There's,
Or major media.
if I can jump in. So one of my favorite bands it's a band that actually plays in Westchester. It's a band called Clutch, right? And they've been all over the place, but they're not like, really well known. Like, you're never gonna see them in Madison Square Garden. But they got it made. I mean, they're playing, they're enjoying their music, and they're really down to earth. And there's no like stuff that makes you like, oh my God, that's terrible. How could you say it? Just fun music, like rock. Yeah. So there was this interview that I read, and he said, the lead singer, he says, I am so glad that we got our music going like in the 90s. Because in the 90s, there was an established business model. You basically, you go in, you play music, you get noticed by a record company, you have to talk with them, and then they set you up and they promote your stuff. He's like, now, it's like you gotta know all these different social media platforms, you have to promote, and there's so much noise. There's like 8,000 bands like in your local town.
Right.
How do you cut through that noise? He says, we're so, so you guys are both saying the same thing. It's like, the creation of the plan and applying it to today's vibe, if you will,
It's so important that you just do the things you love doing because you're going to do it well. The last thing is dangers, opportunities, and strengths. Okay? And that's DOS, D-O-S. Okay?
I'll write it up there, no problem.
VIPs do too, it's on the agenda. And DOS is basically dangers, opportunities, and strengths. So let me give you an idea of what I'm looking to in the future.
Well, did we go over the
Okay.
sweeper?
In the future, huh?
Did we go over the sweeper?
No, I haven't.